As governments and organizations set targets to reduce their greenhouse gas emissions to prevent the devastating impacts of climate change, they have to establish how to reach their climate objectives. Transition pathways are detailed and actionable plans developed to transform company business models and value chains to better align with the latest and most ambitious climate recommendations. These plans show the trajectory that an organization will embark on to reach net zero greenhouse gas emissions, often by 2050. These pathways demonstrate an organization's strategy and practical steps and the move towards a low-carbon economy. Organizations set their transition pathways based on the sector of activity and operating geographies. On a global scale, transport and energy are sectors that require the biggest investments. Examples of transition actions may include retrofitting buildings to improve energy efficiency, or decarbonizing industrial processes, or developing clean energy storage solutions, just to name a few. Organizations have different starting points and different levels of ambition when it comes to setting their transition strategies. Companies are examining their transition pathways first and foremost to evaluate risk. Transforming the way a company does business involves risks, and this needs to be understood and managed. Transition pathways can also help develop better operational efficiencies. This may include reducing resource consumption, reusing materials, finding alternative materials, or optimizing a supply chain. It is in Europe where the idea of transition pathways has taken the greatest hold. Transition pathways are a topic of focus of the EU industrial strategy. The strategy stresses a green transition of EU industries. For example, the European Union Chemical Industry Transition Pathway is a roadmap that aims to guide the European chemicals industry through the transformation needed to meet the European Union's decarbonization goals. It details the industry's need to reach transition targets. A just transition is a framework designed to secure workers' rights and livelihoods when economies shift away from certain industries. For example, Spain has adopted a just transition plan to take care of coal miners who were displaced as the country phased out the use of coal. A credible transition pathway needs to include a decarbonization goal, meaningful targets, and a detailed plan to get to that goal, as well as a governance system to instill accountability in the pursuit of that goal. Because of the importance of understanding what transition means for companies, a global initiative was launched by global pension funds in 2017, the Transition Pathway Initiative, or TPI. TPI is a collaboration between asset owners around the world to aid in understanding of how companies address the impacts of climate change and future fit their businesses to prepare for a low-carbon economy. The TPI Center assesses companies on two dimensions based on publicly available information: management quality and carbon performance. TPI also evaluates company carbon emissions against different climate scenarios consistent with the UN Paris Agreement. It does this by comparing companies in high-emitting sectors against each other and against sector-specific benchmarks, which establish the performance of an average company that is aligned with the goals of the Paris Agreement. As the world transitions to a lower carbon economy, it will be imperative for companies to demonstrate to investors and other stakeholders the ambition and veracity of their transition plans. A sound and well-communicated transition pathway will become a requirement for many businesses going forward.